So I'm just going to touch upon what is robot and how robot is basically different than a navigation. We are not going to talk about OAM because OAM is mainly image uh, actually acquirer, and then it basically helps the navigation to basically register the images better way. So we are going to compare basically navigation based surgery and robotic surgery, how it is better or how it is different from basically navigation. And whatever we discussed till now, whatever Dr. Ajay Krishnan discussed, we will be able to do most of the things with the robot also, whatever we are able to do in the navigation. And tips and tricks almost remain the same like Dr. Ajay Shetty discussed. So let's see what is it. So we all know that with increased incidence of instrumentation, there is increased incidence of revision surgeries because of the complications of the instrumentation. So that is why we are discussing about navigation, or we are discussing about OARM to increase the basically accuracy and precision of surgery. So what is robot? A robot is a machine, especially one programmable by computer, capable of carrying out a complex series of actions automatically. And robots can be guided by an external control device, or the control can be embedded within. I just put this cartoon here in this lockdown situation, especially. We all understood now, especially in this lockdown, that household chores are very complex. So if we could have one of the robots like this, the life can become very, very simple. So with the evolution of the robotics have become more capable, they have become more efficient, they have become more reactive. There is a lot of flexibility now, and they have become more precise and accurate. So when it comes to spine surgery, what we are looking at is mainly the precision and the accuracy. Often we get confused precision to the accuracy, and let's see what is accuracy and precision. Precision is the ability of the robot to bring its end effector to the same position and orientation over and over again. So every time the end effector should be able to come to the same position again and again. That is precision. What is accurate? Accuracy is the ability of the robot to move its end effector to a desired position and orientation that has never been attained before. If we talk in terms of pedicle, accuracy is putting a pedicle screw exactly into the bony, basically bony conveniences without breaching any of the borders. So that is accuracy. So what are the advantages? Robots are actually increasingly assisting in sensitive surgeries like doing osteotomies, doing pedicle screws, and it has been found that robots are almost 10 times more precise as compared to human surgeons. And robot can move with the accurate of 1 micron basically. So robot is very accurate. And what are the added advantages in spine surgery? That is accuracy, decreasing the radiation exposure to the surgeon, decreasing the complication rates. With time, the operative time decreases, and with usage of the minimally invasive spine surgeries, recovery time also decreases. But then what are the disadvantages? That is the cost, like Dr. Alok was mentioning, the investment cost, and there are recurrent costs also for robotic spine surgery. Like Dr. Bharat was saying, for a OARM with navigation, the recurrent cost is much lesser. But then in the robotic spine, each and every patient, the consumable itself costs a significant amount of money. And then there is some amount of learning curve for it, because if you don't familiarize with your instruments or with the gadgets you have, you might end up doing more harm than better. So there is some learning curve to it to familiarize with your gadget. So coming to the advantages of robot over the again navigation, it eliminates mainly hand tremors or a surgeon oriented errors, and it reduces surgeon fatigue. When you are doing a long surgeries, basically the errors which happen due to the surgeon fatigue, that can be reduced. It decreases the incision size because it exactly positions itself at the point where you are going to start your pedicle screw fixation. So actually you can, during the planning process, you can measure where you can put the incision on the skin. So it decreases the incision size. And then this is very important. Robot has a 7 degree of freedom of motion. So like Dr. Shailesh was telling in his initial talk that human hand has limitation. It can move only in flexion, extension, or maybe maximum rotation. But then robot has a 7 degree freedom of motion. So there are three types of robots available right now. That is supervisory control robots. That is, the plan of the operation is entirely done preoperatively, and the robot performs the complete surgery in the supervision of the surgeon, with the supervision of the surgeon. So this has been tried in some of the basically eye surgeries. And telesurgical, the best example is Da Vinci robot, where the surgeon directly controls the robot with the remote location. And then the third kind is a shared control, which is most of the available spinal robots now, they are all shared control kind of robots, where robot and surgeon both control the instruments simultaneously. So coming to the robots, basically the first robot which came into the market was a Mazor Spine Assist, the Mazor company from Israel. So it was FDA approved in 2004. It had a 6 degree of freedom of motion. And the main problem of this kind of robot was a skiving, and it didn't have a sensor for when patient moved, it didn't prompt you that patient has moved. So it had a higher degree of error. And then they came up with the basically second generation robot, that is Mazor Renaissance, that got FDA approved in 2011. So basically that is a upgraded version of the basically a Mazor Spine Assist. It had upgraded algorithms, and basically it also had a feasibility that surgeon could flatten the bone surface where the screw entry point was there. This is very important when it comes to robots, because to prevent the skiving. What do we mean by skiving? Skiving is your basically drill bit can slip on the oblique sliding surfaces and move not on the desired path. So to prevent that, you have to eat some of the bone there. And then again, Mazor Renaissance didn't have a motion sensors. Now the most advanced robot which is available, which got FDA approval in 2018, that is Mazor X with the Stealth Edition. Basically, what they have done here is they have combined robot with their Asset Stealth Edition navigation. So now this is a ultimate combination of a robot itself with the navigation, where you have a robotic, basically robot base for performing, basically guiding you into screw insertion, and you can also have a visual feedback from the navigation. And it also had a motion detector. Whenever a patient moved, it will prompt you, and if patient moves, basically the robot itself adjusts itself to the new position. So because of that, most of the errors which were there in the previous robots were obviated by using a Mazor X. This is the one which we have at our institute now. So let's see how to proceed with these. So that is the Mazor X Stealth Edition, that is from the Medtronics. So this has got a navigation basically, and then this is a robotic arm which is fixed to the, basically you fixed to your table. And then you have this same kind of robotic arm from Globus, that is called Excellius GPS. But then this the robotic arm is not mountable onto the table. It is mounted separately onto a basically stand of its own, and then again it is basically combined with the navigation. There is another company which has come up with the same kind of robotic arm, that is Rosa One Spine System by Zimmer Biomet. So we'll just see what is the between navigation to robots and a freehand technique. So most of we know the good planning is almost like a half surgery done. So when it comes to planning, so freehand we always did a planning on image based, whether it be a X-ray or whether it be a CT or whether it be a MRI. But then when it came to navigation, you could have done the planning based on the preoperative CT or image acquired during the surgery intraoperatively by using UAM. But then the planning had to be done basically once you basically reintegrate the images. basically by registering the images. But then in robotics, it is basically mainly based on artificial intelligence. So planning can take place in true AP, lateral and axial orientation. You can plan accuracy, whatever, how maximum possible accuracy, and planning can be done, and execution is complete to up to the robot. So here, basically, the error of mismatch between planning to execution is basically taken away by using the robot. There can be, when you use a navigation, there can be a basically error of execution. So that can be obviated by using the robot. So in coming to planning, so there is basically in Measure X, it is basically based on the artificial intelligence, and it is dynamic, and it allows more than just screw trajectory planning. Basically, this software allows you to plan osteotomy, interbody cage placement. It also allows you to plan a deformity correction in a simulation model, and basically to achieve a perfect sagittal balance parameters, PI to LL matching. That helps in patient sagittal balance, and it also helps in tulip head alignment, and it gives pre-operatively in your cabin, you can perfectly plan the rod alignment also, how much the rod has to be bent. All that can be planned pre-operatively before you enter into the operation theater. So what I was telling is this: if you want to plan your rod alignment, especially when you are doing a minimally invasive surgery, minimal access surgery, and you are using a uh, large number of screws. So negotiating a screw, if you have not planned your screws properly, negotiating a rod through them is going to be really difficult. When if you try to tighten the innies, you are some of the screws can pull out. So you can actually plan the rod alignment. If you see here, I have planned these two screws in a different way. So how it will show, it will actually show you this, that your rod has to be bent like this if you have planned your screws like that. If you don't want to bend it to that much of lordosis, or you have to drive this screw more inner, or you have to plan in such a way that this screw stays out more prouder. So this gives a perfect planning before you get into the operation theater. Again, similar way, if you have planned your screws from more lateral to medial, then you have to bend your rod like this. That becomes really difficult when it comes to especially minimally invasive surgery. So you have to plan your screws in such a way that if you are able to put a straighter rod. Then this is another thing here. When you plan, you can actually roll completely through the pedicle and see that your whatever diameter screw you have planned, it really is going through and through the pedicle into the all the borders without violating any of the borders. But then if you have violated any border like that, you can always plan back your screw, and then robot will execute it perfectly to the accuracy. So that is a bigger advantage when you plan this with the robotic software. Again, the same, you can plan your screws sagittally again. So you can scan your screw through and through from the tulip head to the end, whether you are through and through into the bone. So next, the other thing you can plan is, if you see here, you are just breaching a medial wall of your pedicle there. So you pre-operatively, you plan your screws properly so that you avoid any medial breaches. And then you can plan your screw diameters. Here you can see we have planned 7.5 mm screws. You can use a 8.5 mm screws also. And then if you see here, the angulation is almost 35 degrees. So if you have to plan this kind of a screw in navigation, you will come to know only in the intraoperative period, and especially when it comes to S1 screws, where your iliac crest can overhang on the basically the pedicle entry points. So you won't be able to medialize so much. So with the robotic planning, what you can achieve is you can plan it bit more straighter, or you can use this same angle if your iliac crest allows. How we can do this is by doing this. It really gives you the projection of your tools which are going to come in. or from where you are going to start on the skin. You can measure from the center how much laterally you have to start, exactly where you have to start drilling or where you have to take your skin incision. So as I was mentioning, this really helps in decreasing the skin incision, and in especially in S1 screws, whether if your iliac crest is coming in between, you can plan this screws in a better way pre-operatively before you enter into the operation theater. Then coming to registration, freehand it really doesn't apply. But when it comes to navigation, the registration is mainly based on features. It compares the basically point to point system. But what happens is if there is a change in the anatomy from the preoperative CT scan to a post-op in a preoperative positioning or an intraoperative positioning, the registration goes where it won't be able to basically register or match images, and then it creates errors. It can be basically obviated by using worms, but then still if you have a dislocation or if you do a interbody work before you start putting your screw, if you have registered it before, then again it creates errors. But then in robotics, because it is a AI based registration, and it registers each vertebra separately, it registers L4 separately and L5 separately. But in navigation, it doesn't happen. It registers basically a column as a whole. But then if you want to register separately, then you have to register each and individual vertebra manually separately. But then in robotic spine, in Mesorex, each and single vertebra is registered separately automatically, because it identifies the end plates, it identifies the pedicles, it identifies the discs. So that way your registration process is much faster and much simpler. So the registration technique in robot, it has got two, that is, one is electromechanical registration and then another one is optical. So there is a basically two types of registration, but when it comes to navigation, it's only the optical registration, and it is always found that the electromechanical registration is considered more accurate as compared to navigation based optical registration. So it is the electromechanical registration is more accurate as compared to navigation. So this is how it registers the vertebrae. If you see that, this video is not running. Basically, it flips between the CT based CT image and image taken intraoperatively, and then it registers each vertebra separately. It is stuck because it was a video.
We can go to the next slide because we are running.
Yeah, no, I'm going to next slide. It's not moving there.
It's okay.
I'll just start sharing it again from the next slide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.